Welcome to Gaia's Voice Podcast with Matilde Croscini. This podcast is for women looking to connect with their innermost wisdom and unlock their unlimited potential to be who they were born to be. This space is for you. This time is yours. You are held by the earth underneath you. Be you. Be wild. Be free. Now let's begin.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of this podcast. I am so happy to be here with you this morning or today or whatever time you're listening and watching this. Feeling into what to bring forward with you today, what needs to be talked about, and I was here with myself feeling into that, and I want to bring attention to what is present in this moment, because this moment is really all there is. And when you connect to this moment right now, from this moment there are limitless possibilities ahead, but only within the moment. And with that, each moment is perfect, exactly as it is. So discomfort before jumping on a podcast episode with you, it's perfect only if I stay in the moment. Because if I try, which is what we do all the time, we've been taught since we were children to think ahead and to be someplace else rather than this moment. So if I try to jump ahead and know what is going to come through, and also predict if you're gonna like it, and then what response am I gonna get, and then maybe I'm gonna also think about what I'm preparing for dinner, and then what I'm gonna do after, and what am I gonna do in a week time. that all goes on in the head, and that brings you away from this moment here with you, this moment here with me being with you. So this moment is perfect here and now. And it's only the mind that from this moment wants to predict all the possible outcomes, wants to go ahead and make sure everything is fine, wants to control the environment in a way that we don't get hurt. And that is because that's what we have learned along the way, and that's fine. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a very powerful strategy in order to be safe in an environment that was not safe. so many of us have been through moments within our childhood that we didn't fully understand, and that caused a lot of pain, a lot of trauma. And so it's very natural that the mind wants to come in and just protect and avoid that to happen again, bringing us away from this moment. So for this episode, I want to offer a practice to drop in and come back here to this moment. So if you're listening to this episode while you're driving, this is not the best time to do this. Make sure you are in a space where you can be totally present with yourself, undistracted, and in a safe way. So if you're driving, just come back to this episode in another moment, listen to something else. Okay, with that said, find a comfortable position, whether that's sitting or lying down, and take a moment to be without doing anything else, without trying to change what's going on in you. Just a moment of stillness, a moment of stillness. And you might notice within that there's a lot happening in your mind. There's a lot of thoughts that want to come up. You might feel some sensations within your body of discomfort. After a while, if you sit still for long enough, it might just start being, the body might just start going, well, I want to move, and I'm going to be itchy here, and this thing is going to annoy me, and this other thing is just like, that can come up, that can happen. So if you're experiencing any of this, that is so natural, so normal. And the best way is to acknowledge that is going on with love. You're not doing anything bad or in a wrong way because that is coming up. That's just normal. What you are doing right now is gifting yourself a moment to notice what is actually there all the time. All the time. That mind chatter, that stream of thoughts is there all the time on the surface, and there's many layers that will emerge as you retrain your system to be. It's a process. So once you've paid attention and acknowledged what's present on the surface, allow yourself to leave it aside for a moment. Allow yourself to leave it aside. Just for a moment. You can go back to your thoughts. You can go back to everything that you feel needs done. And it's important if you feel it is important. But for now, leave it aside just for these few minutes and bring your attention to your belly. And in this moment, it can help to even place a hand on your belly or even both hands. And by belly, I mean the space just under your navel, that space there of your belly. And bring your attention there and allow the breath to go in all the way into your belly. And you might notice that at the beginning, as you start breathing, you might find some restrictions along the way. It might seem like it's an effort to push the breath all the way down into the belly. So there's no need to push, there's no need to force it. Take the breath all the way to where it can go, and then softly, gently breathe out. And with the next breath, feel if a little bit more space has become available. If this is your first time doing this type of practice, this type of breath, or maybe you're doing this after a day of rushing, after a day where you haven't given that time to be with you, which is fine, it's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with anything. It might take a while to open fully to receiving the breath deep into your belly. So allow that time. Allow that time. There's no goal here that you're trying to get to. There's no place that is better than what you're experiencing right now. This is the point of the entire process, is to be here in the moment with what is present. And so if you're finding it challenging to breathe all the way into the belly, breathe to where is available and gently nudge. See what opens up as you do this. See what opens up as you allow yourself to do this. And you might notice that gently, gently, more space becomes available. And the awareness within your belly becomes more and more. So can you be in your belly? And sometimes you might feel some lovely rumbling noises coming from your belly at this point, and that is a sign of the tension gently softening the tissues. Softening. All that you have been holding on to without meaning to. It gets all stuck within your tissues, all the way into your belly. So when we start breathing consciously down in it, that lets it all melt away to the degree that it is available and perfect right now. And as you keep feeling into your belly more and more, take a moment to bring your awareness up to your face and check in if there's a tensing up of your forehead, of your jaws. And again, it's not that if you find tension that's bad, but it's to receive the information. If you're finding tension in your face or maybe somewhere else in the body, just take a moment to feel. That might mean that you are trying a little bit too hard, so allow yourself to soften into breathing down into your belly. A little bit more. A little bit more. Feeling the movement now. As you breathe in, as the breath comes into your belly, feel that movement of expansion. And as the breath goes back out, feel a gentle squeeze. Can you feel the expansion and the contraction happening inside your belly? Inside. And throughout the process, the thoughts that you set aside might come back. You might notice that all of a sudden you're following a train somewhere else. You are coming out of your belly, and again, that is fine, that's normal and perfect. As you do this more and more, your awareness, it's key. So training the system to notice is such a wonderful gift to yourself. So if you're noticing the thoughts that are coming in, that is so wonderful, because it means there is awareness of what is happening. And so you can go, yeah, that's okay. I'm just gonna put them aside again. I had left all of this on the shelf, and I'm just gonna put it back on the shelf for a few more minutes. And do it each time that they come back. Each time. Can you feel inside your belly a little bit more? A little bit more. Deep inside. Feeling the expansion and gentle contraction that naturally happens with the breath. As the breath goes in, accessing your belly. Deep, deep in, deep in. And there's no limit to how deep in you can go. So if you do this many times, if you take this video recording many times, each time a nudge deeper will become available. Each time is going to be a different, unique experience, a different, unique moment. Take a few more moments to be in to your belly, deep in. Feeling what sensations come up, what emerges, what is present in your belly. Feel what's present. Breathe in deep into your belly and breathe out, squeezing out all the air. And now, as you go back to your day, whatever it is that you were doing before listening to this podcast, or whatever it is that you need to do after, you've connected with what it feels like to be inside of yourself, to be inside. So, see if you can practice deep breaths into your belly, even as you are doing something, even as you're listening to the rest of this episode. You are listening to my words. Can you still be into yourself? And that is such key to know, to allow your body to know what it feels like to be there, to be there with yourself, to allow your body to recognize the feeling. Now you have a reference. Now you know what it feels like to be inside of yourself. And from this place, really fully be in the moment. Be in the moment. In this moment right now. So, yeah, I'm not gonna add anything else to this. I'll leave you with the experience, and feel free to come back to this as many times as you feel called to. Make it part of your daily routine. Make a ritual out of it. And take note. You can journal about it if that is something that you feel called to do. Or make note with yourself of how it changes. You will experience yeah, that's for journaling. It's so what's coming through now. I'm just feeling into this. Journaling is so powerful because when you journal about an experience, you might then go back and let's say you do this practice, you take this video, this recording for an entire week or for 10 days or maybe for a month. And then you go back to the first time and the notes that you put down the first time or second time, and then you compare it to where you are. And it's not to compare to be judgmental and to be wanting to push in and get better and moving forward in a forward direction, but it can be very helpful sometimes to notice the gap, because in the moment you mightn't notice that there has been such an incredible gap between the first time you did it and how many thoughts were coming in and how much was just feeling out of whack, and then in a month time there's still gonna be thoughts coming in, there's still gonna be things that feel icky, but it might be less, and that's where taking note of the process can be helpful if you feel called to do that. This is just an invitation. It's something that I found in my practice, in my experience, to be very beneficial and very helpful for me, to show me the gap. That's all from me today. I want to thank you for being here, sharing space with me, and for providing me with the opportunity of sharing this, for these messages to come through. This could not happen without you. We're creating this together, and I'm honored to be creating this with you. And I love hearing from you. So connect with me on Instagram at Gaia's Voice. And you can also join the Facebook group Free to Be a Goddess. It's a free group where you will find more practices, more content. So I wish you a wonderful day and lots of love from me. Bye for now.